Access Sacramento presents a special hometown TV broadcast. This program is funded in part by a grant from the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission.
Good afternoon and welcome to another of Access Sacramento's hometown productions. And this afternoon we have something new, a first for us, something we feel that you'll be quite intrigued by. We're going to delve into the world of chess and competitive chess. I'm Will James, welcome aboard, and very happy to be working with Tom Weedman, who is not only the founder of the Sacramento Scholastic Chess League, but also the director of this playoff competition. Welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you.
We're going to be exploring the results of this championship competition between Loma High School, the defending champs in this third annual Sacramento Scholastic Chess League Championship, and they'll be opposed by Del Campo High School. Del Campo was a finalist in the inaugural year, and Loma, as the defending champs, coming back to try to retain the title, you might say. So the competitive edge already overbearing, so to speak, in the adjacent room, where we'll be covering 15 tables, but playing for the title will be the 5 tables competing with Loma versus Del Campo High School. And just as a general overview, Tom, in having founded the league and organized the playoff scenario here, though there's been some school movement, so to speak, it seems like the foundation, the nucleus of your league, has remained intact.
Yeah, it seems to have gained some momentum as we've gone through the years. We had a couple of junior high schools that were in the inaugural year, and now they've sort of grown up and gone into high school, and so they've carried it through. So now we have a couple of high schools that we didn't have at the beginning, and it seems to be catching on. And I'm hoping that that exposure like this will help us catch on even more.
Well, today's competition is the result of 5 weeks of competition among the participants in this league. 6 teams, 6 schools are represented, consisting of course, Loma and Del Campo playing for the title, along with Vista, Oakmont, Rocklin, and Jesuit. But playing for the gold will be Loma versus Del Campo. And Loma comes in undefeated after league play at 5-0, and Del Campo 4-1, and their only loss to
Loma. And in fact, it was last week. Going into last week, they were both tied with perfect scores, and Loma won a squeaker. So we should have a nice competitive match today. This is a chance for Del Campo to make up for last week's loss and take the title away from them. On the other hand, Loma's, they have no reason to believe that they can't continue their crazy hot streak that they've been on. So it should be a very good match.
So Loma trying for the repeat, and Del Campo trying to dislodge the Matadors, so to speak, from that position and take home the gold. And we'll be showing you a good close-up of the coveted trophy that is passed around depending on who wins the crown. And our coverage this afternoon involving many players, many tables, and a roving reporter, along with good close-up camera work. So along with Tom's assistants and our roving reporter Rick Stewart, we'll be on the move somewhat, but certainly welcome aboard. Happy to have you with us for Access Sacramento's hometown production. It's the 3rd annual Sacramento Scholastic Chess League Championship, Loma versus Del Campo. We'll be right back.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track.
Oh, hey. She's cute. Nice going, man.
Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car?
Uh-oh.
Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, nice to have you with us this afternoon. Play is getting ready to begin here at Del Campo High School, and this is, again, the championship of the Sacramento Scholastic Chess League, alongside Tom Weedman, the founder of the league and director of these playoffs. Lots of anxious players out on the main floor, Tom.
Yeah, they do have. You can see there's some nerves out there. Certainly, the last 2 years there was no cameras or anything, so I'm sure that made a big difference for them. But even so, just even playing for the championship itself is going to make the Mira, Loma, and Del Campo players a little nervous.
Well, I guess we'll see who has the more composure and the more poise. So we've got the tables numbered for you for easy following. And, of course, again, Del Campo and Mira, Loma playing for the title. The others are in consolation competition, so to speak. Board number 1, Alex Hill of Del Campo versus Mira Loma's Rithwik Sidarson. And being in that number 1 position, respectively, for each of the schools, that is quite an honor and certainly based on excellence.
Right. Yeah. So the players are rated through the league, and the teams are required to place them in order. So the highest rated player plays board 1 from each team, and the second highest board 2, and so forth. So Rithwik has white, and he's chosen to open with e4, and Alex has responded with c5, which is the Sicilian defense, a very popular defense as black. These moves are going to go rather fast, probably because these players have played these opening moves many times before. Okay, so Rithwik's employing what's known as a closed system, while Alex has opted for a dragon setup, which is he's moved his second move. He moved his pawn to g6, and that opens a space for the bishop to be moved to g7. That's a maneuver in chess known as the fianchetto. And so I'm sure he'll be making that as his next move.
So as far as Hill's counter moves, have those been conventional thus far?
Oh yeah, this is all pretty standard stuff, and it will be for several moves, I would imagine. So let's see if I can get this on this board.
And the timing factor with the clocks, and I know our viewers would want to know how that's regulated.
Yeah. So okay. So they can't simply just play chess at their own pace forever, because one player could decide, well, I'm just not going to make a move, and this game will never end. So we have a setup with clocks where the special chess clocks, which basically they only tick when it's your turn to think. So when you made your move, you press the clock, and the other person's clock begins to tick. So then, if you go beyond a certain amount of time, in this case it's 30 minutes for all your moves. If you go beyond 30 minutes, you lose the game, no matter what the position on the board is. And so you don't have to worry about the other person running you out of time, because the clock only ticks when it's your turn.
Now, as far as these two players being in that lead position as the top player on their squad, what's the degree of experience each of them has had coming into this third year of the league?
Well, Rithwik played I think second board for Mira Loma last year, and a little bit of first board. So he's been around. He's one of the highest nationally rated players in the entire league. So he's definitely been around for a while. Alex is a little newer, but has made a pretty big splash. Has come on to some pretty good results. So and they've played each other a number of times already. Like I said, they played last week, so they're very familiar with each other.
I noticed that there are two different rating systems. The USCF rating system, where Oakmont's Ben Longacre has that top spot, but Rithwick has the top spot in the SSCL rating.
Right. Yeah. So the rather than the United States Chess Federation rates players throughout all around the country, and some of these players in the league have played in tournaments that are nationally rated and therefore have national ratings, but not all of them. And when I set up the league, I didn't really want to require that everyone be a member of the USCF. I wanted to include as many people as possible, so I created a rating system which has been around for decades for them to use in the league itself. So so Ben's been probably the most active player in nationally rated events, and has come along very fast. Ben Longacre from Oakmont on first board, but Rithwick also is very, very active and has a very very good rating as a nationally rated player as well. But his results in the league have been maybe a little bit better than Ben's, and that's why he's a little higher than Ben in league rated play.
Good shot there of Rithwick Sudarshan, the leader of the Mira Loma team, and as mentioned earlier, they're the defending champions, trying to repeat, and opposing Rithwick would be Del Campo's Alex Hill. Now, you said they squared off last week.
Yes, they did.
A tough match. And between these two specifically, how did that play out?
I believe Rithwick won that match, but it was, as I understand it, it was a very close match. Alex sometimes has a tendency to get into some time pressure. He'll spend a lot of time thinking, and when your clock starts to get low on time, your move quality goes down a little bit. So I'm not sure if that was a part of it. I wasn't present for that particular match, but yeah, the match between them was very close last week. But I believe Rithwick won that one. So
the intervals between each move is quite critical based on the time duration.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to spend a lot of time on an obvious move, but you don't want to rush your move when it's a critical point. So managing the clock is an important part of this. Most of these guys don't have too much trouble with it when they're this age. They tend to play too fast. It actually takes a lot to get them to slow them down. But you can tell the ones that are the better players, they've learned how to play slower and use their time.
Clock management.
Yes, exactly.
Now at this point, they've certainly got some time left on their clock.
Yeah, there's still lots of time,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still in the opening. I would imagine virtually every game is still in the opening. So let's see. Oh, okay. Table 4. Yeah. This is still in its opening as well. There's been a number of pieces exchanged, though. It's a little hard to make out the exact position, but I don't see a imbalance of pieces, so it looks like it's pretty equal so far, I think. Oh, actually, maybe white is down a piece. It looks like white maybe lost a knight and for a pawn, which would put black at an advantage here.
And of course, the distinction between the two opposing sides' color, white gets the advantage by having first move.
Yes, white has a small advantage. Probably at this level of play, it's not very significant. Certainly among grandmasters and the very best players, not even as high as grandmasters, but among very good players, white does have an advantage because of that first move. It gives them what's called the initiative, meaning that black tends to have to answer to white's move rather than, and white can sort of dictate the play a little bit more. But if black plays well, he can very often seize the initiative from white, and that's when things turn around. So.
Well, you mentioned a key word that I'd like to expand a little bit. Besides being the founder of this league and certainly the director of this playoff, you are still an active player in your own right, not only just active, but as I understand it, you have the National Master title attached.
I do.
Come on now, tell the truth.
Yes, I am still active, and when I was a much younger man, I did, I had some good results and managed to obtain a national master title. Since then, there's been a computer revolution, and this was in the 80s, and so there's been a computer revolution, and all the kids that have come to the game have learned to play chess much better than they had before, and so my results have waned since then, and my rating is not quite what it used to be, but apparently once you have that title, you get to forever refer to yourself. I don't tend to do that, but it is, yes, I do get to say that. That's a kind of a nice
I find
thing.
it difficult to believe that the talent level is waning, Tom. I've heard it. I have it on good authority from a reliable source, which would be Carl Perricone, who's the coordinator, so to speak, of the playoffs, that you not only are a dynamite chess player, but you're a dynamite blind chess player when you elect to not look at the board, yet still make your moves with.
It turns out that everybody, pretty much everyone who's at my level of play, can do that. It seems impossible.
Yes, it does.
And it does take a great deal of energy. I don't do it much anymore. When I was a teenager in college, I actually once played 4 people at the same time that way. But but I don't have anywhere near enough energy to be able to do that now. And even doing it as even doing it with just one game is very draining. So.
Well, we've got 2 competitors locked up here on table 14, Tom.
Yeah, there's that. Let's see. That's even. Black has given up both of his bishops for both of White's knights, and they each have taken 2 pawns. So it's even in terms of measuring it in terms of pieces. But usually the bishops are stronger, and his bishops are pretty well placed. So I think White has a small edge here. A lot of things could happen, and there's really not a whole lot of tactics that there appear to be available right now, but actually, yeah, it's right now it's going to be a little while before we see anything dramatic come out of it.
Well, table 1, of course, is could be considered the premium table in today's action.
Yeah, it's the top players from the top teams. So now I should say that there are 5 boards for each team, and to win the match, you need to win 3 of those games. So it's not like board 1 has a greater weighting than board 3 or 4 or 5. Every one of them counts equally. So it's going to be important to see also what happens on these lower boards.
So in order to have a real confident chance of winning 3 of the 5, it's kind of essential to have a big 3 on your team.
Yeah, that's actually very important. I mean, for example, Oakmont has 2 very, very strong players. They're actually twin brothers, Ben and Jack Longacre, and they're kind of the scourge of the league in that they're very good. But Oakmont struggled to have great results because they've had trouble getting 3 other very strong boards, and I think that's turning around. And I'd actually look for Oakmont to be very, very tough next year. But yeah, it is a team sport. So
okay, nice camera work to zoom into table number 3.
Table number 3. Oh, so
lots of prisoners.
Yes, so White has an extra piece, an extra bishop. When we say piece, we usually mean bishop or knight. But black has an active queen, so there could be things happening. I mean, it's not necessarily white's game yet. Black has a pawn for the piece, and he has his queen active in front of white's king. White's king does look safe, but you never know what might come out of this.
No lead is safe, and
right,
no
exactly.
piece is
I've
safe.
seen, yeah. With these guys playing, there's any number of things could happen. So.
Well, we'll take our camera to table 11.
Yeah, so this is board one between the top players between Rocklin High and Jesuit, and this is both these players are very good. I watched both of them quite a bit, and I'm impressed with both their play.
That would be Sharma of Rocklin and Spears of Jesuit.
No,
or I should say Kaufman of Jesuit.
Yes, Hayden Kaufman. Yeah, and their position is pretty equal. White's a little slow in his development, but it looks like it's going to develop into a very interesting game. Aravind, who's playing white, he can drum up some stuff. I've seen him do some pretty amazing things. He may have a little trouble finishing occasionally, but I look forward to this being a very interesting match. Let's see what's happening on. There we go. Okay, looks like black's. Let's see. White's moved his bishop to e3. Black's protected his pawn. Let's see if I played rook c8.
So
yeah, so
each square is designated by a number and letter system.
In fact, you can see the numbers and letters on the in the shot. That's just it's called algebraic notation. It's the way that we describe the moves, and in fact players generally keep score. Not a lot of these players are keeping score, but certainly in nationally rated events you're required to keep score, just to have a record of the game
and record the move correctly.
Yes, yeah, I mean, yeah, occasionally you'll see make mistakes, but for the most part, once you get used to it, it's actually second nature. But anyway, this game's going to have a lot of maneuvering. We're going to see a lot more of this game's going to go on for a while, and I don't see either player getting a major advantage in any short period of time. So, okay, here's Rocklin versus Jesuit, and okay, it would appear that white has someone has black on the run. Oh no, yeah. So white. If you look at white's knight on f7, that's doing what's a maneuver called a fork, which is a double attack. It's attacking both of black's rooks at the same time. He can't save both rooks, and so that means the white knight will be able to be exchanged for one of those rooks, and that's an advantage because rooks are stronger than knights.
Based on maneuverability.
Yes, exactly. And black's response was interesting. He decided to just attack white's rook in response. So if white simply moves his rook out of danger, the fork will remain, and he'll still be able to win one of those two rooks. If he doesn't, then some crazy exchanges can take place, and black will worm his way out of it. But
would you consider that last move somewhat unorthodox?
It's always very tricky whenever a player makes a threat. Oh, okay, so he's making a mistake here. Whenever a player makes a threat to make a counter threat, that's always very tricky. So if he had, instead of taking the rook, if he had just moved his rook away, the knight would still be forking the two rooks. Instead, he decided to take the rook, and now we end up with an even exchange. So black has found a trick to get him out of it that white was unable to navigate through. And now white's going to have to take the bishop on e2, and then black will take the knight on d8, and that will be back to even again.
Again, this is the championship of the Sacramento Scholastic Chess League, the 3rd annual. I'm Will James, along with Tom Weidman here at Del Campo High School. The championship round is underway, and And now we're going to take a look at table number 3.
So this is third board in the championship match. Oh, they've exchanged quite a few. Oh, we're back to this game. Yes, this is interesting. Yeah, black is in quite a bit of trouble here. So that's let's see, who is that? That's Taylor Brown for Del Campo is in quite a bit of trouble against Manpreet Rai. It's not over yet. And he, oh, that's interesting. If it's white's move, oh, okay. So if white moves here, he just needs to rescue the bishop because the bishop's currently attacked by the rook. And the question is where to put it. The black king is in some danger on the white squares. So that bishop definitely, if it's, oh, we have a result on board 5. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's
table
10, but board 5 between Oakmont and Bella Vista, and it looks like Tom Devia has won. It appears that his opponent has resigned. He has a queen and a rook, and black's left with only a bishop. So it looks like he's given up. And I think he was about to be checkmated very soon. So that's our first result.
Right now, let's check in with our colleague, our roving reporter, Rick Stewart.
Okay, I'm backstage here at Del Campo High School at the City Chess Championship, and I'm here with Matthew Gimmer. Matthew, the match you just took part in, tell me about that and how long you've been playing chess.
It went pretty well. I've been playing chess for probably about a year with the Oakmont.
Have you ever faced off against your opponent here?
I haven't played against him before, but I played against his school before.
Okay, what was the key out there? I mean, if you could pin it down to one move during the match, was there one point?
Yeah, I mistracked where his bishop was with my queen, and it made a huge blunder.
Okay, how was your year overall? Not necessarily team, but how was your year? Was it good?
No, it was pretty bad.
Well, it's honesty. What grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore. So you got 3 more years to play chess against other schools in that. What's going to be the one goal you try and take out of this meeting today?
I don't really want to win games, but I want to have fun and motivate everyone else to have fun too.
Outstanding. Well, good job today, Matthew. Congratulations. I'm backstage with Thomas Debbie from Bella Vista High School. Thomas, you won the match out there. What was the key point for you in the match?
He pushed pawn to threaten my pawn, but my bishop was on that horizontal, so I just took his queen, and then little by little, I was able to win the game.
What grade are you in here at Bella Vista?
11th.
11th grade. So you've been in the last 2 tournaments that Bella Vista's been in?
No, this is my first tournament.
Okay. And where would you say that the tournament today and your match helped you?
What do you mean?
Well, in the sense of moving forward and being a better chess player, whether individually or team?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure the team will play better overall when they've heard we won. You know, it'll be more inspired.
Okay. All right. And do you have a future playing chess, or is this just a sideline for you?
No, it's just a sideline, I guess.
Outstanding. Well, good luck. Congratulations on the win today in the championship.
Thank you.
All right. All right. We'll be back with more after this.
Things are continuing to
it's just
remain
slow, methodical development. That's sort of the sign that these players are strong players. That neither one of them is doing anything to jeopardize their game, and they're trying to gain small advantages over their opponents.
Okay, in this championship round, we know that there are draws throughout the course of the regular league.
Yeah.
Stalemate scenarios. Now, what do we do here in the championship round if things play out even?
Yeah. So okay. If a match is drawn, so that would be a case where each team gets 2.5 points. It could occur if, for example, each team wins 2 games and then the 5th game is drawn between the two players. If that happens, we will go to a playoff round, which is where the clocks are set at 5 minutes. So it's a blitz playoff. All 5 players will be involved, and they have to make all their moves inside of 5 minutes. So it's quite dramatic. I mean, it'd be impossible to follow. But I won't be able to do much commentary on the play, but it'll be fun to watch it because it's wild and fast paced.
Certainly, like a shortened overtime period, quicker thinking, quicker moves.
Yes, exactly. All
Well,
right.
we got table number 12 here, Tom.
So yeah, it looks like okay, so there's they're blitzing off some moves here. This looks all right. So white is down a piece. Yeah, this should be a fairly easy win for black. He's got the extra knight. White's pawns are very weak. They're going to fall as well. But again, there's no reason to give up. I've seen blunders so many times that you just never know. Think you could actually drum up something from nothing very often. Yeah, in terms of time, they're fairly close. One's got 22 minutes, the other's got almost 19 minutes. So I don't think time is going to be an issue in this game, mainly because they're so deep into it and they've got so much time left.
You mentioned that inevitably there are blunders at key times.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the thinking process is real heavy right here, the concentration, and there's no telling when a player would inexplicably commit a blunder.
Right, and they're certainly more common when a player is in time pressure than when they're not. But you know, a lot of these players are young, and many of them have not been playing very long, and so they'll just overlook things. I mean, even the best. I make lots of overlook moves all the time, and usually it's not as dramatic as simply placing a piece where it can be captured, but it's part of the game, and it can be heartbreaking because you could be winning the entire time and then make one mistake and suddenly you lose.
I believe Carl told us about one of his team's top players appearing to be on the verge of victory and then an unexplained move.
Yeah, it's literally every match you can find that happening.
Table number 4.
This is into an end game now, and then they both. This is interesting. They both have a rook, which black has more pawns. Oh, black's got a pawn on the 7th rank, which means all right. So if you get your pawn to the very back rank, you can exchange it for whatever piece you like, queen, bishop, knight, or rook. Virtually always people choose queen because it's the strongest piece. And black is simply one step away from that. Now, if he were to do it right now, for example, it wouldn't be any good because white would simply capture it with his rook. So black needs to look for a way to try to get that farther. On the other hand, white's king is assisting his own pawn to move forward. So it's going to be interesting.
How infrequently do you see a piece move to the back row without being captured or
pawns are queened in almost every game.
Really?
Partly because, I mean, when I say probably it's not quite almost every game, but very often the way games are decided is the pieces get exchanged and one side can't checkmate the other with the pieces he has, and so he'll use his advantage to push a pawn down and get a queen and finish the game that way. So that's, when we get to games, situations like this, the whole goal is to queen the pawn. That's really what we sometimes call it going for a touchdown.
Okay.
So so that's really what we're...
Pretty cagey, Tom.
Yeah. And so this is interesting, this game, because there's both players are trying to get pawns down to the back rank.
Time still not a key factor yet.
No, not yet. It's going to be a little while before that's the case. But as you can see, games like this one with the end game, it's pretty far into it. Oh, looks like we have a result on table 9. And it's the board 4 player from Oakmont's defeated. So that would be
Will Wade.
Will Wade has defeated Daniel Vu from Bella Vista. Looks like his queen invaded and he was unable to prevent checkmate. So
well, it should be noted that in addition to the many caps you wear and many functions you've undertaken, you are also the coach of this Bella Vista
indeed I am.
team, and
at least this year, yeah.
for 1 year. This is the first year doing that, right?
Yes.
Previously, of course, you had the highly heralded inaugural season championship team. And
Yeah, we had so when I started the league, I had been coaching the Andrew Carnegie Middle School team, and so Andrew Carnegie Middle School, the students that graduate from there, most of them end up at Bella Vista, so that's how I end up going over to Bella Vista too.
now we can easily see there's no coaches hovering above their respective schools.
Yes.
Now, to what degree, to what function? Well, we'll get back to that in a second, but right now let's check in with our colleague, our roving reporter, Rick Stewart.
All right, I'm backstage here with William Wade from Oakmont, and William came out a victor today. How'd the match go? Was there a turning point for you?
Yeah. Honestly, when he lost the right file and I moved up the queen, it was game over from there.
Okay. Is that a standard mistake that players will make, or is it just an opening that you just jumped all over?
Well, it's not really standard because I opened it up and then he didn't notice that my queen was prepared to move and he kind of just blundered.
You set him up.
Yeah, it was unfair.
Well, that's okay. I mean, it's not unfair. I mean, isn't chess a form of warfare?
Yeah.
How long have you been playing chess?
Honestly, as long as I can remember, my grandma taught me when I was very little.
Oh, Grandma taught you. Wow, that's outstanding. You spent a lot of afternoons playing with Grandma when the weather's bad and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, do you plan to use chess as a springboard in the future in any way?
Only for fun.
Well, that's fun. I mean, a game like this can be very relaxing in a lot of people's eyes. If you know what you're doing, I suppose it makes it even better. The key today to the whole league season, what was the high point for you?
Probably game 4 because I started winning after that. I've been on a losing streak since then.
Okay. All right. Well, that's always a good thing when you start a winning streak. So, William, congratulations on your victory today, and good luck the rest of your chess-playing career, as it were.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. We'll be right back. We'll send it back out to Will and Tom.
During the course of the five-week regular season, I'm sure the coach's duties and responsibilities to work with his team are many, but at this point in time, during match play, the coach really cannot give much advice. I think there's maybe a rare exception to that.
Yeah, for the most part, the coaches are the main function of the coach is to keep the team organized, and not so much like it would be for a team sport where there would be strategy and so forth during the match. In this, the rare occasion where the coach would be involved would be, for example, if a player was interested in knowing whether whether they could, for example, offer a draw to their opponent and how that would affect the team result. That's really the only way that they could bring the coach into it. And in this league, that just never happens anyway. So.
Okay, action going on table 15.
Wow. Okay. Looks like white is now up a piece. Unless there's a bishop behind that king, which I can't really tell.
Well, perhaps another match concluding here on number 3. This pawn is. These pawns are getting pretty far advanced, and it's going to be very difficult for black to. In fact, it will be impossible if it's correctly played for black to stop this from occurring. In fact, now black's king is quite nicely trapped on the back rank, and all white has to really do is swing his rook around, and there's really he'll be helpless. So in sheer numbers, major advantage here for white.
Yeah, I mean black's king is unable to do anything. There is one last gasp chance that might exist where black can try to sacrifice his last rook for a stalemate position, but there is no such stalemate position sitting on the board right at this moment.
A last gasp. Well, it might take a national master level player to find that
I don't think I could pull it off in this one. White's got this under control. This game's over. This game's over. So, I mean, I think it's mate in 1, actually. Black will be resigning. It's not mate in 1. Black could escape, but it's mate very shortly thereafter. So the only move black can do to get out of the checkmate on the very next move would be king e8. And that's not really much of a savior because white just wins the rook.
We'll be right back with more of the 3rd annual Sacramento Scholastic Chess League Championship from Del Campo High.
What if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Okay, take it on the dozen. Table number 12. It looks like the white's got an edge here.
Yeah, let's see. Actually, I don't. I think he has a. If he has a bishop, no, I think he's a pawn on a4. So it's actually white. No, white's actually behind because black has an extra knight. So yeah, I would suspect that this is unless black makes a dramatic error and so if you look at the way the position is set up, the black king's behind 3 pawns. If the black rook leaves what's called the back rank, the same row that the king is on, the white rook, if it's able to go to that rank, will deliver checkmate. So that's pretty much the only place I can think of black making an error and suddenly out of nowhere snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. If you
allowing the rook to get to the back line and move laterally.
Yes, and then that would checkmate the king. Yeah.
Okay. Well, heavy concentration.
Yes.
And
yeah, this game on board 3, he did in fact move his king to e8 and avoided the immediate checkmate, but it's now white's queen to pawn and now he's just circling in on the king.
Well, with those odds, it's kind of looking like
it's
Custer's last stand.
It's
on
mate
a chessboard.
it's mate in 2 now, so I think it's mate in 3, I guess.
We're seeing a delaying action to the bitter end here.
Yeah, he's playing it all the way out to checkmate, which is fine. I mean, most of these guys do this, and at the highest levels, there would have been a resignation a long time ago. But this is perfectly fine and perfectly acceptable. That game's over.
All right, I'm backstage with the winner on board 3, and the winner is Manpreet Rai of Mira Loma. Manpreet, your game today, did you notice that it changed in any way on a specific move or a specific time of the game?
Yeah, I couldn't actually checkmate him in this early part of the game, so I had to move around the pieces, and I had to sacrifice my queen to I had to attack his queen with my queen, so he'd take it, and then we kept moving our pawns and stuff, and then in the end I had more pawns, so I reached the end, and then I got my queen back.
Okay. So basically you dangled the queen initially as bait and he took it, and that gave you an advantage in the overall match.
I had a bishop up already, so when he took my queen with his queen, it was kind of but I took it back, of course.
Okay. Got it back, yeah. Now how long have you been playing?
3 years.
Okay. What started you playing chess?
Well, my brother, I played after school, so then I was stuck after school, so I was just like, why not just play chess as well?
All right.
Because I was there for 2 hours after school.
Well, now you're in the championship match, Mira Loma and DC. How did it feel out there playing for a championship? I mean, there's all sorts of athletes that will tell you different things, but how did it feel for you? Some people would say, this is chess, it's not really a sport, but it is. And how did you feel going in before this match started?
I was kind of nervous, so I just did practice with my teammate. And then when I was actually playing, I got less nervous as I was playing, because I was winning.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on the victory today, Manpreet. Best of luck in the team aspect as well, and good luck in going forward, whatever you decide to do.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, I'm backstage with Taylor Brown from Del Campo. Taylor, in the match out there, was there a point of the match where it was a deciding point?
Yeah, so there's this point where I thought that I would be winning a knight where I didn't really analyze it well enough, and I actually ended up losing a bishop in the end. So that was kind of where things changed in his favor.
Was it an offensive move on his part, or was it something defensively that you could have done that maybe slipped past?
It was something, if I would have taken more time and actually acknowledged his defense, I would have probably never made the move.
Okay. How long have you been playing?
I started when I was in 4th grade.
What got you into chess?
What got me into chess? I heard it was fun. I had some older friends that taught me how to play, and so I thought it was interesting, gave it a shot, and I really enjoyed it.
Right on. Excellent. Are you going to use chess down the road in life anywhere to continue, maybe teaching, playing, whatever, or just a relaxation?
It's definitely a game I'll play for fun forever, but I don't know, maybe in college or something, I'll play some chess, see where it takes me.
Once the professional chess league comes calling, they'll call your number?
Hopefully.
Outstanding. Well, good job today, Taylor. Thanks for being with us backstage. Will, Tom, back to you.
Back to Del Campo and Mira Loma. Aces playing for the gold here.
Yeah, this is all right. So this is getting very interesting. So Black has pretty good. Let me take a look at this position.
Again, that's Alex Hill on the right from representing Del Campo, and Rithwig
Black can actually win a piece here by playing bishop takes h6. Oh, no, not anymore. It's bishop takes g6. G7 is okay. Actually, this is not the current position. I have to make sure I have the current position. It's there. Yeah, I'm okay. Not sure what happened, but I'm missing.
So
that's all right. All right, so I'll.
So in the time frame, where they're approximately halfway through their allocated time.
Yep. Let's see now. I'm going to try to set this thing up here. Okay, I got this position. All right. So yeah, it's still pretty equal in the game between. Oh, I see what happened. Okay.
Okay, let's move across the floor a wee bit and check in on table number 8.
Yes. Okay. This is between Andrew and Kevin. So Kevin played for the championship team with Carnegie 2 years ago. He was actually 5th board on that team.
So for Bella Vista, there, a freshman, Kevin Sanziri.
Yes, that's right.
Opposing Matthew Goomer of Oakmont.
No, actually it's Andrew Beavers. He's
okay.
I think Andrew Beavers is. So yeah, Kevin was moved up to 3rd board. So, yeah, let's see this. There's and Kevin's a very good player. He's had a little bit of an a poor season, but he's a very strong player. It looks like Black's knight has sort of gone off to into no man's land, and he's going to find himself in a little bit of trouble, perhaps. One thing about Kevin can sometimes also, like Alex Hill, he has a tendency to get himself into some time pressure occasionally, so that could be an issue for him. But this is actually a very pretty even game, and that knight may not be in as much danger as it at first appears. So, okay.
Table 4 is concluded.
Black has won, so that's another win for Mira Loma. Is that 2 results now that Mira Loma was there another result already for the championship match?
I think this may be the first time.
Okay, so Mira Loma's up 1 game 5-0, with Nico beating Barrett.
Barrett Smith.
Yeah.
Well, Del Campo's going to have to make up some ground.
Yes, they're going to have to come back.
So 1 of 3 necessary to claim the title. Mira Loma's in for a victory.
Yeah. Okay. This is board 2 in the Jesuit match. Is that right? Oh.
We can't see the number on the table.
Right. So, yeah, this is the game we were seeing before. Yeah, Black is still up that piece, and he seems to be making good headway. I think this is this should be a fairly straightforward win for Black. I don't see him having too much trouble with the rest of this. All right, table 5. So this is the 5th board game between Del Campo and Mira Loma.
That would be Roy McGinnis of Del Campo, Alex Fung representing Mira Loma.
Yeah, and it looks like Del Campo has the Del Campo player has Rory has a pretty strong advantage here. You'll notice that his pawn is on c3. It's pretty far advanced, and he's moved this pawn to check the king. It seems silly to be giving away the pawn, but in fact the idea is if king takes the pawn, then rook goes back to d4 check, winning the bishop. That would be a fork of the king and the bishop. So you might notice that there's not a usual chess clock being used here. It turns out that there's an app for that. So there's a chess clock app that you can just download for free, and it's nice because it means that he's chosen to play c2 instead of forking the bishop, but he's still got a rook and knight versus king. So this should be a win for Del Campo. But yeah, so this phone app is very nice. It's free, and kids anyone can use it to play chess with. So
well, Tom, it's been said that our director Ronisia Harris does have a sharp eye for detail, and having said that, of course, she would naturally notice the telephone there. Well, we're going to step back for a moment and take a brief pause, but encourage you to stick around. Don't wander off. We'll be right back with more of the 3rd annual Sacramento Scholastic Chess League Championship from Del Campo High.
So there you are. It's flu season, and you're over 65 like me. You might be forgetting something serious. Your annual flu shot. The flu can be life-threatening, especially if you have chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease, which can worsen with the flu. The immune system weakens with age. Ask about a flu vaccine option made specifically for us. Visit ncoa.org/flu to learn more and talk to your doctor about vaccine options for people 65 and older.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts.
Yes, you.
You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Backstage with Barrett. How'd the match go today, Barrett?
I played pretty well. I made a few mistakes in the beginning, but he played better, so he ended up winning.
That's the bottom line, right? Your opponent did their job.
Yeah.
Okay, now how long have you been playing?
I've been playing since 4th grade.
4th grade. Who got you into it?
Originally, my stepdad did. He taught me, and I've been playing against him, and I just beat him again for the first time about a week ago.
Outstanding. So it was kind of a letdown coming here then. No, I'm just kidding. Was there a point in the match that was a deciding moment or maybe a move or something like that?
About somewhere in the middle of the game, I made a mistake, and I ended up going down a piece. I think that was probably the point where I lost it.
Okay. All right. Was it just a mistake, or, I mean, a good play on the opponent's part?
Yeah, definitely a good play on his part. I I made a mistake, but he was definitely able to take advantage of it.
Jumped all over it.
Yeah.
All right, Barrett. Well, good job today, and congratulations. And moving forward, hope everything goes well for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jared. All right, I'm going to talk with now Nico. Nico, the match today, coming in, did you have any nervousness at all? I mean, you were talking championship.
I wasn't super nervous. I mean, chess is a kind of a relaxed sport for me, so I wasn't very nervous.
Okay, was there a point in the match that you felt like, okay, this is it, it's done, all we got to do is play it out?
Yeah, there was a point at which I was up 2 pawns, and his rook wasn't able to defend them, so I knew, like, eventually I would end up coming on top.
Basically just wearing your opponent down then.
Yeah, exactly. That's how most of my games end.
How long have you been playing chess?
For about 4 years.
Really? Who taught you?
I had a family friend and my father. Both taught me.
So late nights in a family room playing tennis.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, do you see chess being an outlet for you going forward in anything other than just relaxing?
No, not particularly. Chess is just more of like a hobby that I like to do with playing with friends and stuff. It's not a competitive.
Outstanding. Well, how's it feel out there as far as between DC and Mira Loma, championship match?
Right now, it looks like Mira Loma's up 2, but the next games might lean it in DC's favor.
Outstanding. All right. Well, congratulations on the victory today, and keep moving forward. Yep. All right, Nico, thanks. All right, Tom, Will, back to you guys.
Number 13.
Oh, there's an interesting one. So Black just played a pawn capture that's a discovered check, called a discovered check. It's it moves the pawn out of the way so that the rook. Oh, yeah, and the king had nowhere to run because the bishop was stopping him from going to b1. So he had to protect. He had to interpose his queen, which actually is not terrible because Black's queen is gone. So this, so this is very interesting. White's actually still winning this. It's sort of odd because you sort of think that with that kind of move that Black would be winning, but in fact, Black's already well behind. Also, you'll note that it looks like Black's got 1 minute on his clock. It looks like 1 minute and 1 second. So he's playing very fast to try to avoid losing on time. You notice it didn't move off that. That's because the time controls. So it's something I didn't explain was that the time controls, they get 30 minutes for all their moves, but there's actually a 5-second delay between when you make your move and when the other player makes his move and your clock begins to tick. So.
Well, they're getting into some close quarter combat here.
Yeah, the king.
Scattered board.
Yes, White should easily win this. He's got 2 rooks that can just run around, capture up all the pawns, and there's really nothing much that Black can do about it. I'm not sure why White is using his king when he's got 2 extremely powerful rooks that he could be using, but it looks like he's. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
We've had at least one outcome thus far in our championship play, an upset, so to speak, with one of the schools capturing a victory, holding the Black pieces.
Yeah, really at this level, the Black and White, the difference between Black and White advantages is really, really small. So, White just hung a rook. So he just had his rook forked. Now Black has. Bishop and knight against the knight and rook. So now it's a little closer than it was before.
Boy, those pieces are getting grabbed rather aggressively, Tom.
Yes, they are. But still, White should be easily in control. Just start mopping up pawns with the rook, and he should be fine. This is interesting.
Well, we're under, what we got, 23 and 52 on this clock.
I don't recall seeing much of board 2 between Del Campo and Mira Loma. Can we take a look at that just to see how that's?
That would be Del Campo's Ethan Bird against Mira Loma's Aaron Wang.
Okay, so Ethan is up. Oh wow, he's up 4 pawns. So they each have a rook, but Ethan's got just an overwhelming advantage with 4 pawns, and Ethan's he's made a pretty big splash on the. In the league, he's sort of come out of nowhere as a very strong player. He has a very good league record, but what's really impressive is his national rating. He played his first nationally rated tournament this year, and finished tied for first. So he has one of the highest national ratings in the league. In fact, the second highest, right after Ben Longacre.
With that in mind, is he now a legitimate challenger to Alex Hill in that top spot for Del Campo?
Well, we use the rankings within the league to determine that, and he's actually very close to him in rating. He's maybe 5 rating points away. So certainly, if he wins this game and Alex loses his game, then I mean the league ends. But if it had continued, then he would be first board. He'd have the higher rating. So yeah, it looks like
Player to watch.
So it looks like there's 2 games now that Del Campo is winning. They're winning this game and the other that we looked at. So although they lost the one that's already been decided, they're in pretty good shape for these other games. So it's shaping up into a very interesting match. It might come down to the Titans on board 1.
Well, that's got to please Carl Perricone, of course.
Yeah, sure.
Coach
I'm sure
of
it
the
does.
Del Campo team. After dropping that first one, he'd certainly like to capture 2 of these games
Yeah.
and take the lead.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
there's a checkmate on there.
Game over on table 13.
Yeah, so this was the one where I expected the rook to be mopping up the pawns, and the king went marching down the way, and then apparently the black king went and marched himself into a corner, and then white checkmated him. So that's a decisive result for in favor of Rocklin.
Jackson Cone.
I think it's Anthony Yu.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Table 5.
So, a checkmate, and that's by black. So that would be Alex Fung. So that's another win for Mira Loma. So, okay, so this is actually amazingly looks like it's going to come down to board 1 because from what I could tell, the other 2 boards, the Del Campo players are winning.
Right now, let's check in with our colleague, our roving reporter, Rick Stewart.
All right, we're backstage now with Alex and Roy. Alex, the match today. This big match, the championship.
Yeah.
Were you nervous going in?
Well, yeah. I mean, it is the championship, and we played Del Campo like last week, but we won 3-2, so it was close.
Okay.
There was definitely a reason for nerves to be on this match today.
So this was kind of like a rematch from before. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Was there a point in the match where you felt like, okay, that changed?
Yeah, in the beginning.
What was it? Was it a mistake, or was it just an opening?
I would consider it a mistake, but Roy took one of my pieces that I didn't even see at all.
Okay, so he kind of dangled a fishhook out there, and you grabbed it, and he's like snapped the jaws shut.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, what has first and foremost, where did you start playing chess? Who taught you? How old were you?
Probably my father when I was 4 or 5, but I haven't been playing seriously until probably this year.
Seriously mean like sitting down and looking at somebody and wanting to beat him.
Actually trying to learn more than just the rules.
Okay, all right. And the overall year, I mean, you have a good year. Obviously, you're there in the championship. You were undefeated, if I remember, coming in. Team aspect, has there been a growth for the team?
Well,
in terms of how you've improved?
I would say that I've improved over the year. I don't know how it was compared to previous years because I didn't play on Mira Loma last year.
Okay, all right.
But, I mean, I would say I have improved over the season, especially because we have practices where we do tactics and other lessons.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations, Alex, on the job you did today. All right, Rory, victor in the match today. DC's got a good record going in. They need the victory to isolate everything. What was the point in the match where you said, if only to yourself, it's over?
There's a point where he left his bishop unprotected and didn't see when I had the opportunity to take it, and I was able to take it and up 3 points.
How long have you been playing?
Not very long. I played a little. I learned how to play probably when I was about 10 from my neighbor, but I haven't really been playing seriously at all. The only reason I play seriously is because one of my teachers is the chess coach, Mr. Perricone, and even then it's intermittent because I have basketball and that often conflicts with the chess matches.
Okay, well, I understand that. Two-sport star here at Del Campo then, obviously. So, juggling 2 sports. I mean, there are people going to say, it's chess, it's not a sport, but it is. Your mind is occupied as well as any other athlete. Tell me how you juggle the 2. One's a physical sport with basketball, and one's not a physical sport, but they're still both mental.
Yeah, they both are very mental. Chess is more of like what I like to do in my downtime when I rest and I'm tired and I sit on the couch at home. I can play on my phone or something like that. Basketball comes first. I'm very committed to basketball, so if there's a conflict between basketball and chess, basketball does come first. So I have missed several matches for chess because of that, actually.
It's understandable. Well, congratulations on the victory today. Good luck with
Thank you.
team, and hope team comes out. I think it's probably 2-1 or maybe 2-2 at this point. So excellent. So it's pretty much a rematch like we talked about. So congratulations on the victory today, yourself in your match, and good luck going forward in whatever you do.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Roy. All right, Tom, Will, back to you guys.
So, and board one is still very early in the game. They're taking their time.
They certainly are.
And yeah, so this could come down to a time scramble even. Rithwick's actually used quite a bit of time. He's only got 8.5 minutes left. Let's see.
Rithwick Sudarson from Mira Loma on the left. Alex Hill on the right.
Oh, Rithwick set up a very nice little trap, a discovered attack. You could.
Okay, we'll cut away from that one and see the outcome on table 14.
Another result. We have a victory on board 14. Table 14, which is board 4 between Jesuit and Rocklin. Looks like black is the victor. So that's another Rocklin victory. Okay, so here's the position for between Rithwick and Alex, and White just moved his queen to this square. The threat is now White can play knight check on either e6 or f5, which that will check the king, which will then also open up this nasty little diagonal attack on the black queen. So if he doesn't see that this discovered attack is present, Rithwick will actually win this queen. So the threat here is either knight to e6 check. Now sure, that'll give up the knight, but in the time that it takes him to take the knight, black will get to take the queen on a7. So we'll see if Alex is up to the task.
Rick Stewart has more for us.
I'm here backstage with Carson Jones from Jesuit High. Carson, what was our key point in the match that kind of turned it one way or the other?
Yes, I do believe there was indeed a key point in the match. A few turns before I eventually resigned, I accidentally made a mishap and I dropped a piece that I thought was secured, my bishop to be exact.
Now, for those that may not understand, when you say you dropped a piece, clarify that.
When I dropped a piece, I mean it was undefended, free to be taken by an enemy piece.
All right. And how long have you been playing overall?
I've been playing since I was in 8th grade, so this is my 4th year of playing.
Okay. Who got you going?
I got myself going, really. No one else in my family's really been playing, but once I came to Jesuit, where there's other people to play with, I really started to play more.
Now, looking at numbers, it looked like Jesuit had a tougher year in that sense, in the overall sense. Was it just a lot of new players?
It's not really, no. When me and my friends came in, we're the class of 2019. We're all juniors. There's no seniors on our team, and the rest are sophomores and freshmen. So we're really a new team. We've been building up. I think we've gotten better over the years, especially since we were freshmen. But overall, we have a lot of people on our team, but there's cross commitments that conflict with, chess. Like there's sports and stuff, academic things, and it's fair to make everyone's call. I had a choice to go take a math test that could have put me, really good for colleges and all that, but I chose to come to this because, I've always gone to mathletes over chess, and I feel like I should give it chess at least the championship a try.
Outstanding, Carson. Good job today. Well, the match today may have not worked out the way you really wanted it to, but the year was a growing year for you, so it was a good thing.
It's been a growing experience for 3 years now. Hopefully next year when we're all seniors and we got the juniors on our back too.
Roll through league.
Yep.
All right, Carson. All right, Will, Tom, we'll send it back to you.
Well, it looks like game over. Table 12.
Yeah, looks like so. As I said, black. I sort of expected black to win this by capturing all the pawns, but he managed to weave a mating net around the white king, and so looks like this is won by Nicholas over Carlson. So it looks like Rocklin's winning their consolation match. They've already won 3 of the games that I know of, maybe 4. I'm not sure, but. Jesuits had a hard time.
So here's Bella Vista Oakmont.
Yes, this is Ben Longacre against Michael Warner, both of whom I've spent quite a bit of time with. One because he's at Bella Vista. The other one is Ben's a player that I've known since preschool. So I mean, he's a friend. He went to the same preschool as my son, and so we've been around each other quite a bit, and I've been coaching him at chess. But he seems to have a pretty overwhelming advantage against Michael. He's got the pieces are about equal, but the position is he's just got a much stronger position, and I think he has an extra 2 pawns or something. So I expect Ben to be able to win that. And Michael's pieces are really, I mean, if you look at his bishop is trapped behind its own pawns, the knight is on its original square, the rook is trapped behind the knight. So this should be something that Ben doesn't have too much trouble with. Okay, board one.
Swing it to 11.
This is board one between Rocklin and there's resignation. He just won a piece. So Hayden Kaufman manages to get a point for Jesuit against Rocklin.
Aravind Sharma.
So Hayden came on the scene last year or the year before, and just I think it was the year before actually, and rose to the top very quickly. So he very strong player.
Right now, let's check in with our colleague, our roving reporter, Rick Stewart.
All right, thanks, Will. I'm backstage with a couple more players today from the matches. I'm here with Carson from Jesuit. And Carson, was there a turning point of the match today, maybe a move or a succession of moves that made a difference and changed it?
I think early on I was just down in material. I lost one of my minor pieces, and it just came back, and I just never recovered.
Now, some people might not understand when you say down in material, just numbers of pieces?
Yeah, I lost, I believe, a knight, I think, and I never got it back. So.
Okay. How long have you been playing, first and foremost?
I played when I was a freshman, and I couldn't play as a sophomore just because of conflicts, and I came back.
Now, when did you actually first start playing?
Probably freshman, maybe late 8th grade. I don't know.
Okay, so really, it's a high school thing. You got on and met some friends and started playing. Okay, excellent, outstanding. Was it just classmates that said, "Hey, come on, let's go play"?
Well, we had a club day like in the beginning of school, and when I was a freshman, there was only one other guy in the club with our coach. And in my grade, there was about 10 guys that all joined in. We've been there ever since.
Outstanding. Now, I know Jesuit, the year wasn't the best year, but it's improving. You've got a real young team starting up now, and the prospects are looking good going forward, aren't they?
Yeah, when my grade came in, like I said, we had about 10 people come in, and until then, we didn't have very many sophomores, but now we're getting quite a bit of freshmen. But right now, we're still kind of training them to become kind of more competitive and stuff. So yeah.
All right, outstanding. Well, congratulations on the match today. And even though it may not have turned out the way you wanted to, I mean, it's a good end to the year for you.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Thanks, Carson. All righty, and our match winner, Nicholas. Tell me now, what was the real key going into the match? I mean, it's big thing here, the tournament and that. And even though you may not have been playing for the championship, there was still a little bit of nerves going in, wasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little nervous. It happens at every match, really.
How long have you been playing chess?
Well, I started when I was a kid. My dad taught me, and we would play sometimes. But I really got serious around freshman year.
Okay. All right, outstanding. Well, that's where it is. I mean, you get into competition with your classmates, and lunchtime and stuff like that, and it's like all of a sudden you've been winning every lunch, and everyone wants to come knock you off. The chess clubs in school, how vital are they for schools?
I think they're pretty important because I know there's a lot of people that enjoy playing chess. It's very popular, and it's a nice opportunity to go and play with friends, just casually or competitively, really.
Now, the year for team-wise, may not have been the best year. I mean, you weren't competing for the championship here, but still it was a good growing experience for the team, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really our first year we've been competing in this league. And so it was a very nice intro. We've had a great year. We had a few wins, few losses, but overall I think it was pretty good.
Outstanding. Well, good job today with the victory, and keep going with whatever you're doing.
Thank you.
All right. Tom, we'll send it back upstairs to you.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
All right, thanks, Will. Tom, Arvind Sharma is with me. And Arvind, the match out there, championship match, I mean, were you nervous going in?
A little bit. I mean, this is our first year, Rocklin High School's first year in the SAC Chess League. So I feel like all of our team members were a little bit nervous, but that little bit, I was, yes, a little bit nervous. But it, you know, in the end, our team won. Our team beat the other team. So,
all right. Yeah. Was there a point in the match where, okay, it's turned? I mean, it's going to be ours.
Yeah. When I heard that the other 4 members of our team won, because each team has 5. So then it was, yeah, then it's like we won. I still felt bad that I lost our game because I wanted it to be 5-0, but, you know.
Was there a point in your match where you went, oh, I messed up?
Yep. When he brought the bishop and he pinned my 2 rooks, and he ended up being a rook up for the rest of the game. So then I just realized it was over.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations on being here today, first and foremost. Congratulations on what sounds like, you know, good team action for you. So best of luck going forward too, Arvind.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, Will, Tom, back to you guys.
Table 15 has concluded.
Yeah, so that concludes the match actually between Jesuit and Rocklin. And it looks like it looks like Black's been checkmated. So that's a win for Rocklin. So it looks like Rocklin has won this match 4-1. Table 2, a sudden checkmate out of nowhere. Oh,
a sudden checkmate.
Well, I mean, White was winning anyway. White had 3 passed pawns on the queen side, so it was going to end anyway. But this kind of ended it rather quickly. It's kind of a nice little checkmate of the king in the middle of the board. So that makes the match count, the point count, the game count at 2-1 in favor of Mira Loma. But if we could see board 3, we'd have a better idea of if that game is nearly finished.
So Taylor Brown got Del Campo on the board here with a victory.
Let's see.
Rick Stewart has more for us. What you got, buddy?
All right, thanks, Will. I'm here backstage with Ethan and Aaron. Aaron, first and foremost, the match today. How did it go? Were you nervous going in?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. I mean, it's just another chess match. I mean, it's just a championship or anything like that. Did the match go the way you thought it would? Was there a point in it where you thought, uh-oh, I messed up?
I think the pressure, provided from the opponent was, a lot, and he racked up a lot of pawns throughout the match. So that's probably why I lost.
So maybe in your match, it was a story of attrition, really?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. How long have you been playing, and how old were you when you started?
So I started when I was young, and then I stopped for a good 5 or 6 years, and I just started recently again. So yeah.
Now, that's not just start playing and okay, and we're going to take a break. We're going to play baseball. We're going to play soccer. We're going to do something else, and then I need something to relax. So we go back to chess. Is that what it really is?
Yeah, it's probably something like that.
Okay, well, that's good stuff. Congratulations on getting to the championship with your team, and hopefully it all works out for you the way, team-wise you'd like it to be, and have a good year this year.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Okay, young man, victory, okay. Did you think going in that it was going to be difficult? Was it difficult? Were you feeling nervous going in?
I mean, yeah, I was nervous because, it's a pretty big match and there's a lot of stakes, I just thought it was going to be another chess match, so I just came in to play some chess.
How old were you when you started playing chess?
Pretty young when I learned the rules, but I didn't really get that serious about it at all until last year.
Okay, who was the one that really was instrumental in pushing you forward?
I just kind of taught myself. There's no one who really wanted me to do it. So.
Okay. Was there what was the point in the match where you went, it's over?
When he let me checkmate him.
Okay, that's the end of the match too, so that's a good thing. Well, congratulations on the victory. Hopefully, it works out for Del Campo team wise in the championship, and hopefully it helps propel you to a direction you want to go too.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Okay, Tom, we'll send it back upstairs to you.
So here we have Bella Vista and Oakmont. Number 6.
Yeah, on board 6. Yeah, on table 6, it looks like there's going to be checkmate here. Pretty quickly, I think. It looks like there's forced mate. It looks like rook 8 to e3 check, and then king g4, and then f5 is checkmate, I believe.
Well, during the course of the regular season.
Oh, not quite, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Bella Vista just one game back of Del Campo, finishing at 3-2, and
yeah,
just out of the championship.
Yeah. So we have two games going on between, one game going on between Bella Vista. There's the check move. Okay. All right. So, on board 8 or table 8, we have a very interesting position because we have a rook for two pieces for a rook, but there's also a pass pawn. So black and white are tied up in a very tough struggle there. On board 6, it's all but over. I think it's forced mate on that board between Ben Longacre and Michael Warner. In fact, yeah, it's going to be mate the next move Yeah, it's mate the next move on that board.
And how did Warner fare during the regular season?
Michael had a very good season actually. He was 4-1 in regular play. I believe his only loss came to Alex Hill. So yeah, on table 6 here, Michael's only got one legal square to go with his king. It's to h4, and then rook takes h3 is mate, or g5 is also mate. Pawn to g5 is also mate. So that game's over on the next move, and I'm pretty sure Ben's aware of it. Oh wait, was that? I overlooked this. That bishop was hanging, so Ben's taking. Oh, that's another checkmate. Oh, not quite. So king now can run to g4, but this is going to end very, very soon. I overlooked that piece was not protected.
So Longacre's in good shape here.
Yeah, Longacre's this should be over momentarily, I would guess. In fact, let's see. This time I want to make sure if it's checkmate because I make mistakes. Yeah, so rook g2 check, and then g5 is mate. I don't know if Ben will play that, but that's certainly a simple checkmate.
It should be noted that aside from being regarded as their top player, Ben Longacre is also their coach.
Yeah, so
don't see that very often.
It's a little unfortunate that they don't have a I mean, not many teams actually have an actual, say, faculty member as a coach. They'll have it as an advisor, but in many cases the students are better players than than their coaches are, or than the teachers that watch them. But in this particular case, yeah, he's pretty much been responsible for all the organization of the team and everything. So yeah, he's officially their coach. Okay, so board 1, we need to. This is the game.
Heavy drama here.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what is. Oh, he moved the knight back to. Oh, okay. Wow, what's.
That was Alex Hill with that last move, and there you see the move by Rithwig Sudarsson.
Yeah.
These are the top aces for the respective teams playing for the title. Del Campo and Mira Loma.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this came to be.
Now with roughly 5+ minutes remaining, are we into that zone now where the time factor is real touchy?
Yes, there could be some major. Yeah, looks like he found the mate, the g5 mate. So we're down to just 2 games now, right? Just Kevin Sanziri on board.
I believe that's correct.
On board 8 and against Andrew Beavers and Alex versus Rithwick. I need to. I would really like to know if the match has been decided between Mira Loma and Del Campo, or if this is a deciding game. Table one, I think, is the deciding game, but I need to know what the current score is between.
If that's the fact, that's the way this championship
It
should play
be.
out.
Yes,
with
exactly.
The top dogs
Absolutely.
squaring off and being the
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
All right, let's rejoin our roving reporter, Rick Stewart.
All right, we're backstage with a couple more of the chess players today in the city chess tournament. Michael, tell me about the match out there you had out there. Was there a point in it when you went, oh, no, I made a mistake, and that's going to cost me?
It was when he got his knight on D3, and that really pushed him over the edge in this match.
Okay, did it just put him in a position where it was just such offense that you didn't really have a defense that you could come up with?
It forced my pieces into a corner, and it made them unusable, so it was tough to get out of.
Okay. How long have you been playing chess, and who got you going?
My dad actually started to teach me chess, and I've been playing ever since middle school. I was originally from Carnegie, and
all right. I've seen that name and heard it before. It's kind of a breeding ground for chess players, for lack of a better way to word it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, good job today getting here, first and foremost, with your team and individually. And congratulations on moving forward and doing what you enjoy doing.
Thank you.
All right, Nicholas. Good job. All right, Ben. Match winner. Okay. When you started here knowing where you are, was there any nervousness to it at all?
I don't think I had too many nerves because I'm pretty confident I haven't lost a match yet. And I feel like with the way I play, how I like to play really not passively but patiently, and not make any mistakes. And often, if you don't make any mistakes, you win the game. So that's how I like to play, and it makes me very confident.
So undefeated on the year.
Yes.
Outstanding. Well, good job there. Who got you going with chess, and how old were you?
I think I started about 3 or 4 years ago playing chess. And Tom, he actually taught me how to play chess, and he's been teaching me how to play.
Outstanding. 3 years and you're undefeated.
Yeah.
I haven't won one yet, and it's taken me 20 years. But the game of chess, what does it do for you? Relaxation? I mean, obviously it works well for you, undefeated.
I mean, it's a game. It's a lot of fun to play. It requires mental toughness, a lot of patience, a lot of, I guess, endurance.
Okay.
Especially to play with super long time controls, like over an hour or 2 hours. It's a lot of fun. It's just fun to play.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations on the victory. Congratulations on how team's doing this year. It's a pretty good season for you, and keep on moving forward in a positive way.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Ben. All right, Will, Tom, we're going to send it back out to you.
Okay, at table number 8, they're using the phone for their timing device, but the heavy attention is regarding the championship contestants with a 2-2 tie.
Yes.
The leaders from Del Campo and from Mira Loma, their game will decide the championship.
This is amazing. This is deciding the championship. They're down to less than 5 minutes, about 5 minutes each, and the game is completely equal. I mean, it is absolutely dead equal.
It's likely they played it this way last week when you said that game was very, very tight.
Very possible, yeah. So this is gonna be very interesting. A very interesting finish.
Rick Stewart has more for us. Let's check in with him.
All right, thanks, Will. Tom, we've got 3 match winners here from Rocklin High School, and their meeting today in the championship. First of all, let's talk with Anthony. Anthony, what was the point in your match where you went, it's over, it's over?
I think once I gained a piece, I realized that I had the momentum and that I could just keep going until I won.
Was that early in the match, or was it a different point in the match?
It was pretty early on to a match.
Okay. How long have you been playing, and who really got you turned on to chess?
I started playing around 4th or 5th grade. I went to a camp with my sister at a library, and that's where I learned to play chess first, and I really liked it.
Well, outstanding with 3 match winners right here. Obviously, Rocklin had a good day today. So, I mean, that's a good thing for the team aspect of the year-long production. I mean, growing for the team. You're one of the younger players on the team. How do you see next year coming out?
I think we can be a really strong team next year. Since this is our first year, we have a lot of room to grow.
Okay, outstanding. All right, next match up. Shri, the match you were in, was it an opponent mistake or was it just an opportunity that you jumped on that really turned your match?
It was a major opponent mistake.
Okay, all right. Well, that's what I would make. I didn't see myself out there. So was it something you were expecting to happen at some point or was it just like out of the blue like, oh, I got to do this?
Yeah, it was random. It was near the end. And so the opponent just moved like his major piece at like a bad move and then it was over.
Your eyes lit up and went, bam, the hammer's down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, how long have you been playing chess, and who really turned you on to it?
I started playing. I played at home because of my mom. She'd teach me, and we'd practice like a couple minutes like each week. And so once I came to Rocklin and heard that there's a chess club, I jumped in, and then ever since then I've just been improving.
Outstanding. Well, you had a good game today, and the matches all the way down the lineup. Now, Ken, in your match, what was the turning point?
I mean, it was pretty interesting the whole match. I was up in material most of the match. My opponent almost promoted a queen, but at the last moment, I was able to sacrifice a knight and turn the game around and ended up winning. So.
Okay, how about you? When did you start playing chess, and how did you get into it?
So I've been playing on and off for, since I was a kid, but I had never been really serious about it until I had heard about that a couple of my friends were making a chess club at Rocklin High. And so from there I got interested, and this year I joined, and I've been practicing and improving ever since then.
So you could say the thunder hit you then.
Definitely.
Outstanding. Well, fellas, this is a good beginning for Rocklin High. 3 champions here in the Scholastic Chess Championship. The Thunder's moving up. Will, Tom, we'll be right back to you.
Just over 4 minutes remaining in the match that will determine the championship in this 3rd annual Sacramento Scholastic Chess League. The championship now boils down to the top players from Mira, Loma, and Del Campo. Mira, Loma, the defending champs, winning it last year in the 2nd annual. And, of course, Alex Hill of Del Campo on the right, trying to bring home that important 3rd victory to claim the title. Study and concentration.
Yeah, this has got to be very tense in the room. I would imagine, especially since it's coming down to the wire in terms of the time.
And you mentioned that when time gets tight, it affects players differently. Well, the only other game in progress is originating from table number 8.
Yeah, this is that very complicated 2-piece versus rook situation. Black does have a great deal, a lot of pawns, and that pawn's becoming mobile. So this looks like in fact, White's in some hot water here, I think.
Bella Vista competing with Oakmont.
Yeah, it's a very interesting position. I'm not sure what the game score is and what the match score is in that particular battle, but yeah, this one's going to end in a very it's going to be a sudden flurry, I believe, of tactics.
Meanwhile, at
let's see,
table number 1, we're down to about 3 minutes remaining in that one.
Yeah.
And but lots of activity on that table 8 board. Gee whiz.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still even. White does have Black's king pinned back, but it's not really in any danger. So and he's trying to drum up some kind of attack with his knight and queen, but it's a 3-minute man. A position like this with 3 minutes left is just going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. It looks like.
Now we did cover this earlier when time elapses and there's no clear-cut winner, then you have to go to a different protocol.
Well, whoever's flag falls first loses. So, I mean, it's possible that they could draw, but at this point, it's not likely because there's going to be an issue with somebody flagging before the other guy does. Let's see.
Rick Stewart has more for us. What you got, buddy?
Alrighty, I'm backstage. Thanks, Will, with Derek from Bella Vista. Derek, the match you just finished in win, was there a point in it where you went, that's my opening, I'm going for it?
Probably when my opponent blundered a piece.
All right, well, that's always a good time. And take it. Was it a significant blunder in that sense, where it allowed you to rush in and doom, it's over?
Pretty much.
Okay, all right. How long have you been playing chess, and who got you really going?
I've been playing chess for 5 years, and do you know Tom Weeben?
A little bit, yes.
He's the one who got me playing competitively.
Outstanding. Now, what's the allure for chess?
Probably the beauty of the game, how deep the level of thinking you have to be in to play the game at this level, and well, I don't know if other people can relate to this, but just the adrenaline rush of being on the board.
Okay, all right. I've heard of that, not necessarily in connection with chess, but I can see your point. Now, how far in advance are you playing? I mean, some players play 5, 6, 7 moves in advance. I mean, how far average players at this level? How far in advance are they?
Maybe 10 moves, a dozen.
Okay, all right. Outstanding. Well, congratulations on the victory today, as well as moving up with team and doing a good job with them throughout the year. And congratulations on that. And good luck moving forward too.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Derek. Will, Tom, we're going to send it back to you.
Well, another deadlock is underway here.
Yeah.
Playing out on table 8, a 2-2 tie there. Bella Vista and Oakmont locked up.
Yeah, currently. Oh, he just dropped a rook. He just dropped his rook. So yeah, I mean, Black was winning this game between Bella Vista and Oakmont. Black being the Oakmont player, but he just hung his rook on A2, which is going to allow Kevin Sanziri on Bella Vista to make a comeback. This game, what's going on?
Well, we just got the handshake on table number 8.
He resigned after dropping his rook. He really shouldn't, because there's no reason for Black to resign unless his time ran out. But I don't think that's the case.
Well, that's the one table without the standard timing device. They're using the cell phone, so don't know.
This game's coming to a close it's coming to a close on board 1. Actually, not quite coming to a close. This is a interesting battle. So,
but the resignation on the previous on number 8, they still had more than 4 minutes remaining.
And this should not have been a resignation. This is not a lost game by Black.
Rick Stewart has more for us. What you got, buddy?
All righty, Will, Tom, thanks. I'm backstage with Andrew Beavers from Oakmont High School. Andrew, the match out there you just finished, was there a point in it where you felt like, there it is, I can take advantage and win?
Yeah, absolutely. It was around maybe move 25 or 28, and I had a lot of space, and I was pushing attack on the king side very heavily, so that was when I knew I have this in the bag.
How long have you been playing, and who really got you going in the sport?
Well, I've been playing for maybe 4 years casually, and I just got into it through playing with my family. But I just recently joined Oakmont's chess team, which is relatively new. We just set it up last year, and it's been a really great experience.
Overall, the year for Oakmont, I mean, you weren't in the championship match, but still, as you say, you just set it up. How would you say it went for the year, I mean, in terms of the growth your team had?
I think we have grown significantly this year. We started off with kind of a ragtag team. Not all of us most of us hadn't done this before, and we had a lot of people switching in and out. But we really improved from being pretty bad to, I think we got 3rd in the league from today. And I think that shows a lot of improvement, so that's great.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding. Andrew, thanks for being with us, and congratulations on the victory today.
Yeah, great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Good luck in your moving on forward. Will, Tom, back to you.
Okay, we're down to just over 2 minutes here on table number 1. Mira Loma the defending champs.
I believe Rithwick touched his queen too, so he has to move his queen. The only square he can really, he may have thought that he could checkmate on h7, but he can't because of the queen on a8. So really his only option is to play queen g6 check.
It's a very definite stipulation on the touch.
Yes, he touched the queen, so he has to move it. So and now clearly Alex will bring his queen over to g7. But now Rithwick. Oh, Rithwick's rook is attacked. Oh, this is actually looking very good for. It looks to me like Black's going to win this. He's actually held this together. Alex has held this together.
Wow.
His knight. So Rithwick's knight and rook are both attacked, and he's already down a rook. So this looks like it's over. It looks like Alex is going to win this, and that will give the title to Del Campo after so many years. I see Carl off in the distance. He's got the thumbs up. He's very excited.
Well, that would be a rousing victory considering the narrow loss a week ago that Hill suffered.
Yeah, and Alex is, man, he's come up big. This is a very, very tough opponent. And they both have very short time, but this should be no problem for Alex to mop up this position. He's going to just basically take all the pawns and probably go queen a pawn just to make sure he has plenty of firepower to win this with.
Alex Hill trying to mop it up, as Tom says. If he closes this out, Del Campo wins the title.
And it looks like it's a done deal.
Yes, Del Campo coach Carl Perricone, as we saw waiting in the wings, looking rather pleased.
Yeah,
as Mr. Hill comes down the stretch.
They have it. They have the title, and it's been a long time coming. I mean, 2 years ago they beat Carnegie in the regular season, and then Carnegie came and beat them in the playoff, and won the title from them. And then last year they just barely missed making the finals. With Jesuit was able to make the finals instead. And now this year they make the finals again against a very tough Mira Loma team, and they're going to pull this out. I feel really good for them. They've been there since the beginning, and a bunch of good kids. So.
Well, the victory even sweeter for Carl and his team after those narrow losses.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a long time coming, and that also speaks to the parity that we have in the league, because I mean we've been going for 3 years and we have 3 different championship teams. So and it looks like I think Oakmont has a very good chance of being the 4th different championship team next year, despite their rocky result this year.
Well, with the Longacre twins spearheading their attack, and
sure,
you're probably right.
They pull together a few more boards, and they will be hard to beat for sure.
Finishing touches upcoming on table 1.
And now Rithwick's looking for an opportunity, some chance to get his.
He'll need a mistake of some kind.
Yeah, well, Rithwick he's gonna hope for a stalemate, but this is not something a mistake Alex is going to make.
What does the timer show on this one?
It's under a minute for Rithwick, but this is mate in 1, checkmate. There it is.
There it is.
Congratulations.
Wow, there it is. A handshake among 2 terrific competitors.
Yeah.
And the decisive victory, which would be number 3 for Del Campo.
Looking at Alex, he's a basket case.
He looks calm though.
Very excited. Oh yeah, your heartbeat is going a mile a minute, I'm sure.
Well, there it is. Del Campo claims the title on the victory by Mr. Alex Hill. We'll be right back for more of the 3rd annual Sacramento Scholastic Chess League Championship.
What if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow.
My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I'm here with Rithwick from Mira Loma. Your match out there, was there a moment where you knew the match had turned and, oh no?
Yeah, definitely. I thought I had a good attacking position near the end, and then I played this move where I sacrificed my rook. If I had a forced checkmate, then I would have won, and if he could defend it, then I had completely lost, and he had a way to defend it that I did not notice.
Ah, okay. Well, there's always a secret in a lot of players' bags, and they pull it out at the last minute when they're least expecting it. But when did you start playing, and who really got you involved with chess?
Well, I had an interest in chess when I was in elementary school. In 5th grade, I was one of the pretty bad players, so I asked the best player for help, and he directed me to a teacher that helped me out. It was free. And then in middle school, I started learning more and more, and then I started playing more competitively in around 8th grade.
Now, there are people that would look at this championship and say, competition? I mean, yeah, it's one-on-one, but there's a mental side to this that's totally different than some of the strenuous physical activity sports that high school players will be involved in. Were you nervous going in?
Yeah, the cameras and everything definitely made it a lot more nerve-wracking. And then playing against someone that's at the same caliber is definitely making it harder too.
Have you played against this guy before?
I have, yes.
And how did those matches go? I mean, were they close matches back and forth?
Yeah, they were definitely close as well.
Okay, so you knew this was going to be a big one coming in.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, good job today in the match, and congratulations on your team's season to get to the championship. That's amazing right there by itself.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations. All right, Alex, the match that allegedly turned the score was 2-2. Now, you lost to Mira Loma last week or so, 3-2. And when it was 0-2 today, you may not have been aware of that, but is that something that you guys thought about it beforehand? We got to jump out, try and do that?
Right. I definitely was feeling the pressure because last week we were hoping that if we won, then we would win this week, but we lost. And so we were hoping for a comeback. And I didn't know we were down 2-0, but I definitely, it's always, you never know. You always have to try your hardest no matter what the score is.
Now, when you're playing against your opponent in a match like this, if you or down 0-2, somehow that information came to you, would that make a difference in how you attacked your player offensively?
I think it would definitely make a difference in how I would think. I'd probably get more flustered, and then I wouldn't be able to think as clearly. Okay. So I think it was definitely a benefit that I didn't know.
Okay, so you went through the year, had a good year, team got into the championship, both teams were undefeated. How big is the victory for Del Campo?
I mean, it's pretty big. We just started a couple years ago, but we have a great coach, and he taught us well.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations on your victory. Congratulations on the team's victory as well in the championship this year, Alex.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks. Will, Tom, we're going to send it back to you two there in the broadcast booth.
The verdict is in and the decision is final. In the third annual Sacramento Scholastic Chess League Championship, this afternoon from Del Campo High School, the host school, in their third try, takes home the gold in a rather dramatic third victory to seal that. And what a competitive match that was, and especially between the two top guns from Mira Loma and Del Campo, their game deciding the outcome.
Indeed. I mean, it was very exciting. The bottom four boards each split their matches 2 apiece, and it all came down to the last game running, which was the board 1 game. And Rithwick thought he saw a forced mate and sacrificed a rook, only to find out that Alex had an amazing defense and was able to hold on and win the game.
For such an experienced and excellent player, for Rithwick to overlook that, to what would that be attributed?
Well, it could have been he was low on time. He was down to a minute or minute and a half on time. At the same time, it was also really well disguised. I mean, the queen that did the defending for Alex was on the other side of the board, and and he got to move a pawn to allow that queen to come all the way across, and so it's not too surprising that it was overlooked in this case.
Little diversion there. Well, we have things set up for you. Rick Stewart is standing by with the victorious Del Campo chess team, spearheaded by their coach, Carl Perricone, and of course, accolades to Alex Hill for his tremendous effort in that final game to decide the match. Let's check in with Rick and the Del Campo contingent. Rick?
Thanks, Will. Tom, I'm here with Alex Hill, the player whose match ultimately decided it today for Del Campo. Alex, tell me about the match. Was there a point in it where, it changed everything?
Yeah, near the end, really, it was really, really close game the whole time, and then he had me in the corner, and I thought he was gonna get me, but then I saw I was able to move a piece and protect where he was gonna take me from, and then from there he used all of his pieces for that attack, but I was able to defend. So then from there I was able to promote to get a queen and then checkmate.
Was it an offensive move that you used, or was it something that he just didn't see?
It was a defensive move from me to protect from what he was trying to checkmate me.
Outstanding. How's the overall, short of today, going in and playing for the championship, the year was good for you. Were you nervous at all?
I was definitely nervous. I've played Rithwick at least 4 or 5 times, and I've never beaten him before today. And the pressure's always on when it comes down to those last 2 minutes. But
sounds like the team had the right person in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, it seems so. We have an incredible team. Every person counts. So.
Outstanding. Well, good job today. All right, Coach. Team, win.
Right.
What more do you say?
It's been great. We really had a good time, and it's a testament to what a great game chess is.
Now, the players you have here, there's not all a senior roster.
No.
You've got some younger players, as it were. Other sports, it may have a bearing on it, but not chess per se. It's just the experience, isn't it?
It is the experience, but as with anything else, the seniors usually have a little bit more experience, and we keep bringing the freshmen on and getting some experience and letting them have a chance.
Now, my understanding is about 10 days or so ago, you met up with Mira Loma and you beat them 3-2.
No.
Or they beat you 3-2. Okay, let's clarify that. So that's the way it is. Now, you were down 0-2 today. Were you nervous at that point?
Not really, because I could see our number 5, Rory, he was in pretty good shape, and it looked like Ethan was ahead, and I have a lot of confidence in Alex. I knew eventually he was going to get Rithwig, so I was pretty confident.
All right, well, that's good. You're confident in your team. You were undefeated coming in. You needed the victory, right? But you had to.
To win the championship.
Outstanding. Well, overall, it was a good year. This is the 3rd year you've done this. They've been talking about that on the program. So do you see changes that you can make going forward?
Oh, yeah. I think we're trying to get more teams involved, get more kids involved. And I think with the internet, it makes chess a lot more accessible. So
Outstanding. Well, good job today, Coach. Congratulations to the team as well. Finished with the league championship. And as we see right here, the Sacramento Scholastic Chess League champions, Del Campo. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hand this to you, Coach. And Alex, you probably ought to get your hands in here. Whole team, too. Congratulations to the Del Campo Coopers winning the City Chess Championship. Will, Tom, back to you.
Okay, Mr. Stewart, thank you very much. And there you saw the jubilant Del Campo chess team there emerging victorious today in a very dramatic final ending with that matchup of the aces. Alex Hill in a squeaker taking out Rithwik Sudarson of Mira Loma as the Matadors are unable to repeat. And the trophy goes to the new winner, Del Campo High.
Congratulations to Del Campo. They've been near the top every year, and it's good to see them get the win. And it's really good. It does my heart good to see them win.
Well, let's have the names again for this victorious Del Campo team: Alex Hill, Ethan Bird, Taylor Brown, Barrett Smith, and Rory McGinnis. Today, the Cougars, the Del Campo chess team, takes home the gold in the 3rd annual Sacramento Scholastic Chess League Championship. With that in mind, it's been a pleasure working with you, Tom, and I really appreciate the knowledge that you have shared with us not just about this fabulous championship playoff, but about your background as well. The master, national master, yes. Someday we'll have to break out the cameras and watch you play a game blindfolded.
Yeah. Okay. That's the time I will definitely fall apart. I'm pretty sure.
I'll volunteer to be your opponent. That way,
okay. Well, then
you're
be
assured
fine.
for a victory.
Thanks, Will. And thanks to Access Sacramento for doing this. This has been really great. I'm hoping that that the word will get out and we'll get lots more teams to join our league, because it would really be exciting to have many more schools participating, and going forward it would be really wonderful.
Well, thank you, and we certainly hope that this production here is one that will encourage and motivate other players to take up the game if they haven't already, and as Carl was saying, add more teams to your league.
That would be great.
Well, that's the way it shakes out this afternoon here at Del Campo High School in the 3rd Annual Sacramento Scholastic Chess League Championship. Del Campo takes home the gold with a narrow victory over the defending champion Mira Loma team. Well, we want to certainly thank the Del Campo High School administration, particularly Principal Rich Nichols and Carl Perricone, the jubilant coach of the Del Campo team, but also the coordinator of this championship playoff scenario here held at Del Campo. And that also being said, we wish you a good day and keep an eye out for future announcements about chess in your area, because you just might like it a lot. Well, for Mr. Tom Weedman and Carl Perricone and our match director, Ronicia Harris, I'm Will James. We thank you so much for joining us and look forward to the next occasion when we can cross your path. So long, everyone.
This Access Sacramento Hometown TV event is available for purchase on DVD. For more information, call 916-456-8600, extension 0. This has been a special Hometown TV broadcast from Access Sacramento. This program is funded in part by a grant from the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission.